This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV and Associate. You look really happy.
I'm smiley, go on. You got me in a good mood.
KUGAN CASSIUS, IFL TV, MTK Global. We're at the O2 Arena here for Garcia versus Cheeseman. Quite early on in the evening. Delighted to be welcomed by Adam Booth.
Welcome.
My old
you are
mate.
Welcome. My old China.
My old China plate. I like that scarf. Who's it by? Who are you wearing?
Marks.
Do you know what? You can go into Marks and pick up some pretty decent things that you wouldn't know was Marks's, if that makes sense.
Right.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So I bought a jacket out of there once, like a suit jacket thing. They're like, wow, where'd you get that from? I was like, Marks.
Who said it? Who said, where'd you get that from? Like that?
No, it was a nice little blazer number. How are you?
I'm alright. Cold.
What are you doing here?
Just come to have a chat with Eddie.
Fast car?
Fast car. And watch a couple of fights and then go and put my slippers on.
Okay.
You got any questions for me?
I've got loads of questions for you.
Go on.
Obviously, PBK's in the house as well. What's the current situation with him?
So we've just arranged his next fight date. Should be announced hopefully within next week. Or his next 2 fight dates hopefully will be announced in next week. But we're in the gym grafting and doing what we do.
Opponent-wise, are we revisiting potential old opponents?
No, my understanding is Avanesian has decided not to wait for the Josh fight, and he's decided to go for Laranja for the European title. So we're looking through a list of alternatives.
Does that upset your kind of plans for the next couple of fights, or?
No, the plan is always the plan. Josh's career doesn't evolve around one opponent. It's based on his career and where we ultimately see him being. And so nothing's changed there.
How long before you believe that Josh Kelly is kind of on that fringe world level, which is, I mean, he's not fought for a British yet.
No, and he may not fight for the British either, because the level of opponent that we're looking at now is certainly ranked a lot higher than British title level, and also Johnny Garton's the British champion, and we're friends with Johnny and with Alan Smith, and so it's not a fight that we would want to make anyway because of the close relationship that we've got with that gym. And it was the same with Bradley Ski. We're very close. We work together all the time. They spar together and have sparred together since Josh turned pro. And we want Johnny to enjoy his reign as British champion where the two of them don't meet, because we believe that Josh has got a lot of options for his career, and that's what we're looking at now. In answer to your question, if I'm honest, if Josh wasn't, a fringe contender, you're talking sort of around top 5 in the world in the next 18 months, I'll be disappointed. 18
months, okay. Huge pressure on him, and there's so much expected of him, isn't there?
There's pressure on every fight. If you want to achieve, you need to realise that.
No, but I just mean when someone talks so highly, yourself and everyone kind of really highly rates Josh, even at this stage of his career. Seems like there's more pressure when people kind of put you on that pedestal.
Yeah, but for me, it's not just about Josh. Other fighters that I've worked with, that we set out only thinking about world championships. We don't set out thinking about British, Commonwealth or European. We set out thinking about world championships, and anything along the way becomes an added bonus. So there's no difference there. And Josh has got immense belief in his ability, and he wants to be a world champion. It's all he thinks about. So that's all we will talk about.
You're now managing Shannon Courtney.
Yes.
Okay. It's someone on your team's training now, correct?
Yeah, Charlie B.
Charlie, of course. Just talk to me a little bit about Shannon.
Well, Shannon, at the moment, she's going through a period of training where she's got to develop herself and change herself physically before stepping into the professional arena, because once a career starts, it's hard to go back and go through these phases of where you've got to change certain things about you physically. So that's where she's at the moment. And once she has reached a certain level of things, then she'll box professionally.
Because you used to work with the bitch, didn't you?
Kathy
the bitch, Brown.
Yeah.
Is this the first sort of woman you've kind of been involved with boxing-wise since Kathy?
Yes.
Or yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's been how many years has that been?
Since Cathy?
Yeah.
Wow. 2000 and... I've got to get box rec up now, haven't I? I say 2005, around the time.
Quite a long time then. Okay. Interesting to see how. Is she going to be linked up with Mr. Hearn or?
We'll see. At the moment, I've told her not to think about fighting because there's enough work for her to be getting through before stepping into the fight.
Who do you currently train at the moment? Josh aside, obviously.
Michael Conlon, Josh, and Ryan Burnett.
You have 3 fighters. Okay. So you kind of downsized your stable from like 18 months ago, where you had probably about 6 or 7 fighters. Didn't you?
Also got Harlem Eubank and Lucian Reed, who train with Charlie. And H-Man, who's having his pro debut on February the 22nd.
Is he really?
Yeah.
On what bill?
The MTK.
Oh, at York Hall. Yeah. We're streaming that on IFL.
Yeah. So you got to get an interview with H.
100%. Oh, that's quite exciting, actually.
Can I book you for that now, then?
I'm there already, anyway.
No, I mean for the interview.
100%. Yeah.
I'd be happy about that.
Of course. I've got a lot of time for H. Michael Conlon will fight St. Patrick's Day in New York on a Sunday. Bit of a weird day to be fighting, but it's obviously when St. Patrick's Day falls. Opponent-wise, has that been announced yet?
Yes. No, I don't know if it's been announced, but there's an opponent that we've accepted and we're just waiting for it to be announced, I think.
Again, same sort of question. Conlon's kind of been pro for what, over nearly a year now, progressing well. So what's kind of the plan for him this year? Well,
you got to make the assessment after each fight, but there's got to be some significant steps for Michael this year in the level of opposition, and he's ready for it.
Are you looking to take on any more fighters?
No.
No?
Still want training for your white collar fight, or is that been binned?
No, that's not in my plans at the moment. It's not in my 2019 plans.
You spoke to him about his potential white collar fight.
Who?
Tank.
Is he having another one?
Apparently so.
Is he really?
Speak to him.
I will. Is he actually having another one?
That's what he said to me.
Frank? Are you having another fight?
No.
Oh.
That just means he doesn't want to answer questions about
am
it.
I having another fight?
Yeah.
I thought you meant tonight. I'll think about it. You know, I'm dropping the weight down.
Alright. Fair enough. Obviously, away from anything to do with you, I always like to get your opinion on stuff. You made this whole Joshua situation that's kind of still unclear about whether he kind of who he'll fight and where he'll fight and when he'll fight. But have you kind of seen that situation over the last few weeks?
If I'm honest, it's not one that I've really paid too close attention to, because I know that he's a big enough brand that at some point his fight will get announced and he will have a fight. It's not like he's scratching around for a TV deal or a promoter to give him any work, is it? So I think brand AJ is strong and healthy, and I'm sure whenever he's going to be fighting, it will get announced pretty soon.
Hello, Howard.
Howard, I was talking to you about... I was talking to him about doing an interview with referees. I know that the board won't allow it, but talking about referees, about the technical element of being a ref and how you avoid bumping into the fighters and stuff like that. Because I reckon the board might allow that. You've all got your habits as well that we notice.
Don't worry, Howard, I won't ask you why you stopped it. He just doesn't want to be asked certain things, the old Howard. Good guy, Howard. Yes, Joshua, yeah. So, in your opinion, are Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder right to warrant a 50-50 split with Joshua?
Well, it depends which side of the argument you're making. There is an argument for it, 100%. I mean, Deontay Wilder has the WBC belt. I'm pretty sure it depends on Anthony Joshua's desire. How much does he value that WBC belt? Does he value the belt more than he does the lion's share of the split? So that's AJ's decision. In terms of, is there an argument for Deontay Wilder saying that he can warrant asking for 50-50. Well, what's he coming to the table with? He's coming to the table with the WBC belt, and that's what. And Joshua will say, "I generate more money than you," but then the two of them together will probably generate more money than Joshua would make by himself. Understand? So it all depends, and it's a shame. I don't like it when it gets to that stage because there are certainly 3 heavyweights who are in a league of their own. There's like those 3, and then the rest. And I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. And so it would be nice if that super league of the 3 of them that are currently there at the moment do fight each other, because all 3 of them have shown their strengths and weaknesses in their fights. All 3 of them are there, if you remember, because Tyson Fury dislodged all the belts from Vlad. So that's his bargaining for the 50-50. That these dudes wouldn't have those belts if he hadn't freed them up. And the fact that he also drew with Deontay, which in a fight I actually thought he won by 1 or 2 points. Interesting. I hope the fights get made. I hope the rematch between Wilder and Fury happens first. I'd like to see
Which
that.
we assume that will happen.
I hope so. I'd like to see that one first, and then I think the winner of that has even more of an argument to say, let's do a
I
parity
agree with
split.
that, yes. Would you like to train a heavyweight again?
I don't know. My elbows are quite sore these days, so I think I'm happy. I'm quite happy with the welterweight being the heaviest dude that I coach at.
Has anyone kind of dropped in your path in the last couple of years where you've considered training heavyweights? I mean, I think the last one you were kind of involved with was David Price, wasn't it? Am I right in saying that?
David Price.
You were involved with David Price, weren't you?
When that was his pro debut.
No, didn't you then get involved with Price again? Who am I thinking of? I swear it was you.
Oh, sorry. Well, he came down to the gym for a few weeks at a time when I had
That's
Mike
probably what I'm
Perez.
thinking. Yes,
No,
yes.
it was only around that time, but it was only for a few weeks.
Okay. I'd like to see you in with a heavyweight again.
Why?
I'd rate you. And see what you do with a heavyweight, see if you can rekindle the heavyweight
You're
days.
saying that Josh and Ryan
No,
and Michael have
why are you
absolutely
pointing-
no interest.
why
They're
you-
the 3 I'm working with.
No, I know that, but we're just talking about heavyweight, so this is a heavyweight discussion.
I didn't know that.
I will have to obviously ask you about Mr. George Burroughs retiring. What did you make of it?
I think it was inevitable. I think
Yeah.
the combination of his achievements and his, I think also life and what we value is important. Changes as we get older as well. And the Edward Goodneck, I think that scenario probably weighed heavily on his mind. And so, if he can walk away with security and health intact, then he's made a smart decision.
A lot of people were surprised that in the statement he gave that you weren't mentioned, which I asked him about, and he said that if you were making kind of a similar kind of retirement speech, that you wouldn't probably mention him either.
He and I both know what happened in the past, and he and I both know that we're not significant in each other's existences. So I think he made the right choice not to mention him.
Do you know what? I would just say one thing about this. I was talking to someone the other day, and I really respect the way you kind of conducted that, whatever's happened, because it's so easy to air your dirty laundry in public, if you like, and no one's ever kind of known anything about what happened with you and George, and I think that's
People
it.
don't care. The one thing I
People
believe
still ask it now, Adam, and
wanna
they still
kn-
ask about you and
people
David,
wanna
but
know,
you've kept
they
it.
don't. In the bottom line, all that matters is the people who we choose to have in our lives are important to us. That they know the truth and that they know what you do in your day-to-day life. And for me, they're the only ones that are important to me. And piquing curiosity of others for the sake of, compromising what I believe might be my own dignity or my own morality or the way I want to live, I'm not going to do that. I'll be who I want to be, and I'll live how. If I choose that I want to start running my gums off and bleating about scenarios, I will. But that's not me.
Running your gums, I like that. I've not heard that for a while. Okay, well listen, I appreciate your time as always. Have you got anything else you'd like to add?
No, I quite enjoyed a nice, relaxed little conversation. It feels quite a nice one this time. But I'll go back and watch it and realise that I still come across as awkward even when I'm trying to be nice to you.
Oh, but there's people out there that still believe that we don't like each other. There are people.
And you want them to believe that.
I don't want them to believe that. I've never wanted them to believe that, but they genuinely think. People ask me, "Oh, Adam don't like you, does he?" People have physically said that to me.
Have physically said
Yeah,
it
not
to you, or
tweeted
verbally.
me or anything.
Did they talk to you in mind?
Right? No, when I say physically, I mean in person. They've actually said to me.
Oh, sorry, sorry, I misunderstood what you meant.
Yeah, but what?
We love each other, don't we?
Have we not really? We've spoke over the last 8 years. Like,
You know what I said about I don't feel the need to talk about people who are close to me publicly? You're exactly the same. I don't feel the need to tell people about how close we are and the things that we've done together. That we don't need to, mate. It's between us.
what about last night?
It's between us.